I gotta say, I thought this would feel good. It feels even better than I thought it would. Thank you all so much. So if you know anything about me, I never write down my remarks, but I first just have to say some thank yous. And first and foremost, at the very top of the list, is my beautiful wife, Usha. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. I've had so much fun the last year. The one thing is that it does require some sacrifices from family. And so, Usha, you and the boys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for letting me do this. We have had an incredible, and I mean an incredible, top-notch, I've heard it from every consultant and every journalist and every person, that we have the best campaign team in the country, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. To Jordan Wiggins, the best campaign manager that anybody has had. I am sure that he's excited. The one thing, Jordan, is it's another 6 months of me complaining to you that you don't give me enough time for lunch. That's what we're having. I got to say thank you to a guy who has been loyal to me and has been a good friend in political times and non-political times. Jay Shabria, thank you so much for being here. A guy I met as part of this campaign was sometimes, I felt like he was either the angel or the devil on my shoulder, depending on how radical I wanted to sound at any given moment. Andrew Sarabian, the great Andy Sarabian, thank you for everything. I want to say thank you to Noah, Matthew, and Will. Thank you guys so much for everything that you did. You guys were dedicated. The best one-person press shop in America, Taylor. Where is Taylor? She deserves a ton of credit. Chris Applegate and Angie Strader, thank you both for everything you did. Oh, my Lord. We seriously, campaigns require resources. We couldn't have done it without all of your hard work. And I got to say, just finally, to Brian, the first hire that we actually made on the campaign. Brian, where are you? But thank you for everything. It's a little bit, Mamaw and Papaw raised me, and we called ourselves hillbillies, and it is the hillbilly in me that says that one of the most disgusting parts of politics is that there's no loyalty. And this team has been loyal to me through good times and bad, when things were rough, when things were good. We didn't have leaks in this campaign. We didn't have people stabbing each other in the back. We were a team, and we will be a team all the way to November. I have absolutely got to thank the 45th, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, one for giving us an example of what could be in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, remember 2019 when wages were going up and not down? Remember 2019 when workers were doing well in this country, not struggling terribly? Thanks to the president for everything, for endorsing me. And I got to say, a lot of the fake news media out there, and there are some good ones in the back there. There's some bad ones too, let's be honest. But they wanted to write a story that this campaign would be the death of Donald Trump's America First agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, it ain't the death of the America First agenda. It wasn't just the president, of course. We had a lot of endorsements, especially some of our early endorsements. I want to make sure I give some shout-outs to Penny Nance, great advocate for life and for people all across the country. Donald Trump Jr., the president's son, who came and campaigned with us this week. Some of the great leaders of the last administration, Andrew Wheeler and Bob Lighthizer, one of the great trade thinkers of the past 30 years of American history. Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, a lot of people who have done some great things. Senator Josh Hawley, Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congressman Jim Banks, great advocates for me all the way through. The thing about politics is you realize it can be an ugly business sometimes. When people step up and step up early, you remember it. And ladies and gentlemen, every single person in this room, I remember you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for making this possible, and God bless you. Now, this campaign, I really think, was a referendum on what kind of a Republican Party we want and what kind of a country we want. We went to battle, ladies and gentlemen. In this primary, we went to battle against one of the grossest organizations in professional establishment Washington called the Club for Growth. And I call them the Club for Chinese Growth. Thank you. The question presented in this primary was, do we want to have a border that protects our citizens? Do we want to ship our jobs to China or keep them right here in America for American workers and the American people? Do we want a Republican Party that stands for the donors who write checks to the Club for Growth, or do we want a Republican Party for the people right here in Ohio? Ladies and gentlemen, we just answered the question. I love you too. I really do. It's easy to say that right now, but I really do. We got, over the next 6 months, another question that this campaign is going to answer, which is, if we just did battle with the establishment right that has shipped American jobs overseas and flooded America's borders with illegal aliens and fentanyl, we are going to do battle against an establishment left that thinks that people's jobs, that think that people's values, that think that people's basic livelihoods and sense of dignity in their own country is not something worth protecting. That is the battle we're about to fight, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the team I want to go fight it with me. Thank you. Now we have to fight that battle with a unified Republican Party. And so let me just say something about the very tough primary that we just had. And it was tough. I'm not going to pretend that it wasn't. A lot of negative ads out there. I'm sure a lot of you saw the negative ads. I'd be shocked if you hadn't turned on the TV and seen my fat head in the past 6 months. Probably not happy about it. But let me just say something about the competitors in the race, okay? Thank you. I don't know who said that, but thank you. My wife likes the beard too, so that's a good thing. But first, to Matt Dolan, okay? Matt Dolan, a lot of disagreements with Matt Dolan. Let's just be honest. But Matt Dolan had a very professional, a very well-resourced campaign. And one of the things I want to say about Matt is that he could have ran an ugly campaign, but instead he ran a campaign about issues, about substance. He's been a great public servant for this country, and I think our party was better for the campaign that Matt Dolan ran, so thank you, Matt. I want to say something about Mike Gibbons, who one of the great business leaders in northeastern Ohio, a person who's given a lot to our party, given a lot to charities all across the state of Ohio. Mike ran a campaign as a normal guy from Parma, Ohio, who just wanted to make the lives of Ohioans better. And again, he did a great job. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the campaign that you ran, and God bless you. Jane Timken, the state party chairman for years, who dedicated her, not just the past few years, but really the past 20 years of her life to electing Republicans up and down the ballot all across the state of Ohio. Jane ran a spirited campaign. She ran a campaign focused on the grassroots. And there's something to learn there, ladies and gentlemen, that it is important to put the people first when you're running a campaign. Jane's lesson stands out. Thanks to Jane Timken for running a great campaign. And finally, Josh Mandel, no, ladies and gentlemen, please. A long time and dedicated public servant from the Marine Corps to the State Treasury's office. And not just Josh Mandel's, I think, public service himself, but has some of the best supporters, I think, in the state of Ohio. People who are dedicated, values voters who are dedicated to protecting life, to ensuring that children grow up in stable homes. Some of the best people in the state of Ohio voted for Josh Mandel tonight. I hope to earn your support. I don't expect to be given it. I hope to earn the support of Josh Mandel and all the other candidates who ran. Thank you to those candidates, and especially thank you to the people who ran those campaigns. Now, the party that we need to unify to fight Tim Ryan, it's our Republican Party, ladies and gentlemen. It is the party of working people all across the state of Ohio, and it needs to fight and it needs to win. Because let's be honest, Tim Ryan, look at his TV ads, look at the things that he's doing. The guy is running as a Trump Democrat, right? He really is. Now, Tim Ryan says he's tough on China. And yet he's voted 100% of the time with Joe Biden, the weakest on China president in the history of this country. He says that he wants to fight inflation, yet he has voted 100% of the time with the president who has caused the worst inflation in the past 45 years of American history. He says that he cares about us here in Ohio, but he refuses to fight his own party when they have flooded the state of Ohio with illegal drugs and sex traffickers. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Ryan needs to go down, and we're going to be the party that does it. We have such an opportunity here in the state of Ohio, because I think so many of our people, and again, it's not just Republicans, it's moderates, it's Democrats. I think as much as I can't stand the leadership of the Democrat Party, most of the people across the state of Ohio, whatever they're voting for, are good people, ladies and gentlemen, and we in this party believe that we ought to fight for them. But I think about how caught they must feel. In some ways, in the same way that our campaign felt caught between the establishment right, like the Club for Growth, and the establishment left, like Tim Ryan, a lot of people just want a voice. And they just want somebody who believes in them and somebody who will fight for their American dream. You know, my story is literally an open book. I wrote a book about it. I'm sure that provided plenty of opposition research to the clowns out there in political world. But I'm joined here by my mom and dad, by my aunt Lori, by my uncle Dan, by my sister Lindsay, by so many of the people who made me who I am. And I remember when I declared this candidacy in July 1st. We didn't have always a traditional family in a lot of ways, but when I declared the candidacy July 1st of last year, it was the first time that I had seen my mom and dad together in at least 20 years. Think about that. But what I love about this country, ladies and gentlemen, is it's not just for the families who've done everything right. It's not just for the people who've made all the right decisions. It's the country for the people who take second chances. It's the country for people who get back on the horse. That's what I love about my own family. That's what I love about the state of Ohio. And that's what I love about our shared nation, the United States of America. But that country, the opportunities in this state depend on us fighting and winning against Tim Ryan in November, because as much as he will try to claim that he's one thing, his voting record and the evidence suggest that he is the very worst of modern American politics. A guy who has spent 20 years failing the people of Youngstown and now wants the people of Ohio to give him promotion, and we're not going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, are we? Exactly. But I worry that our people feel caught between so much of the political corruption in this country. You know, just think about it. There is a establishment Republican Party that for too long has defended shipping American jobs to China, and an establishment Democrat Party that thinks if you even suggest maybe we shouldn't ship our jobs to China, that's somehow a form of xenophobia or racism, right? Think about the drug crisis. An establishment Republican Party that refused to do anything against the Sackler family, which poisoned this state with drugs, and an establishment Democrat party that is actively encouraging the Mexican drug cartels to flood us with even worse drugs, the fentanyl that's made in communist China. How about we put them both in jail, ladies and gentlemen? Why don't we do that? And our people are caught between a Democrat party that bends the knee to major American corporations and their woke values, because the Democrats actually agree with those ridiculous values, 42 genders and all the other insanity, and an establishment Republican party that actually thinks the only thing worse than not teaching American children that there are 42 genders is actually saying no to a multinational corporation doing business with the Chinese. Ladies and gentlemen, the people who are caught between the corrupt political class of the left and the right, they need a voice. They need a representative. And that's going to be me. And the thing, all of the great things about running for office, the people I got to meet, that we have a beautiful state. I grew up not too far from here, about 45 minutes away, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time in Lake Erie growing up. I hate to admit it because I'm not a Cleveland sports guy, but Cleveland is a beautiful town. And there are a lot of no, that's not acceptable. But the thing that I will say that breaks my heart when I've gone across the state of Ohio is the people who look me in the eye and say, please, please don't forget about me. And to all of those people, whether they're in our party or not, I promise you, I remember where I came from. I remember who made me who I am. And when I get to the U.S. Senate, I will not forget about you. I will not forget about you. So tonight, we're going to celebrate. Maybe a little too much. I'm 37 years old. I've got my celebration packet, a pack of Gatorade, a couple of Advil, and some Tums. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the same man I was 10 years ago. But tomorrow, when I say the people of Ohio need a voice, tonight we celebrate, and tomorrow we start a campaign that ensures they have that voice. We're going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you, and thank you again.